When I moved into my quiet cul-de-sac, I thought I was escaping the chaos of the city. No noise, no drama, just a few friendly neighbors and a yard big enough for my dog. What I didn't expect was the self-proclaimed HOA queen showing up on my porch 3 days later, clipboard in hand and attitude in full swing. "Good morning," she chirped, not waiting for an invitation. "I'm Karen, head of the Maple Ridge HOA. I just wanted to remind you that our community has strict rules about exterior paint colors. Beige or light gray only. That red door has to go," I blinked. "What HOA?" She frowned as if I'd just insulted her ancestors. "This HOA. Everyone here is part of it." I pulled out my property documents, showing her my land parcel clearly outside the HOA's jurisdiction. "See that line? That's where your rules end." "I'm not in your HOA." Karen crossed her arms. "That's not possible. Every home on this street is covered." "Except mine," I said, smiling. 5 minutes later, she stormed off, and 15 minutes after that, 2 police cars rolled up. Apparently, she told the cops I was refusing to comply with HOA regulations and being verbally aggressive. The officers listened, looked at my paperwork, then looked at her like she'd lost her mind. "Ma'am," one officer said, "this property isn't under HOA jurisdiction. You have no authority here." Karen's face turned the exact shade of my front door. I figured that was the end of it, until a few weeks later, I stumbled across a notice online. Maple Ridge HOA facing foreclosure on communal property due to unpaid taxes. The HOA had failed to pay off land fees for their clubhouse, park, and retention pond, so I made a few calls, did a little quiet bidding, and before long the deed was mine. A month later, I sent official letters to the HOA board. They gathered at their precious clubhouse for an emergency meeting, which, funny enough, now sat on my land. When they arrived, I was waiting at the front door with a folder of ownership documents. "Remember me?" I said, smiling. "You called the cops on me for not being in your HOA. Turns out you're all on my property now." The silence was worth every penny I paid. Now they pay me rent to use their own clubhouse. Karen doesn't knock on my door anymore, but every time she drives by, she slows down, eyes wide, remembering the day her HOA met their new landlord.